Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can do plotting with Code Composer Studio. So the first thing we're going to look at is how to do a single time graph or time domain plot. So what I have running in the background is a program, and we're going to plot this variable buffer. Alright, so the first thing you do is you go to Tools, and then you go to Graph, Single Time. It'll bring up this menu. So now a few things you need to do. You need to match the acquisition buffer size and the display data size with the size of your buffer or your variable. And in this case, my variable, it has 200 elements or 200 samples in it. So I'm going to make both of these 200, and my display data size is already 200. The next thing you need to do is you need to match the type. So this is an integer type. So the integer is a 32-bit signed data type. So it's already by default that. But for example, if this was short, you would have to drop down this menu and pick 16-bit signed integer. But we're going to leave it 32-bit. For right now, don't worry about the other parameters. The only other parameter you need to worry about is the start address. But you can just use the variable name, so in this case it's buffer, and Code Composer will automatically get the right address. And when you hit OK, it has some values in it right now, because right now I have the program running and it's stopped at a point. So right now the buffer has some values in it, and it just plots those. It plots 200 of those here. Let's say I wanted to also do the frequency domain plot. I have to go back to Tools and then Graph and then do FFT magnitude. And again, the acquisition buffer size needs to be the same. Data type needs to be the same. Start address needs to be the same as the single time. And then FFT order, you can just put it as 10. And then just hit OK, and it'll give you the magnitude plot. One thing I've forgotten here is that you probably want to specify the sampling rate in this case. So the default sampling rate for your board is 3 megahertz, so that's 3 million hertz. So if I hit OK, now you'll see that it has the right frequency values. And then there's some options up here that I want to talk about, and these apply both to single time and the magnitude plot. The first thing that I want to talk about is this measurement marker. If you click on it, you'll see that this little dot follows your mouse, and you can use this to check, for example, what frequency this peak is at. So if I click on it, the dot will stay there, and then up in here in the corner it'll tell me. So it's saying that there's a frequency at approximately 375 kilohertz, which is correct. And you can do the same thing on the time domain plot. The other thing too is these three. So if you have this one pressed by default, what it'll do is it won't plot anything until you stop running or it goes to a breakpoint. This one right here, if you click it, it'll just continuously update the plot. And then this one, what this one will let you do is it'll let you refresh it. So if I click it now, it's not showing anything, but it's basically grabbing the data from buffer and then replotting it.